I do feel like it's worthy to just get something off of our chest because, there are a lot of issues going on in the world, but I think there's one issue that I know that both of us are probably pretty pissed off about, and I think it all revolves around last week. There was a leaked thing from the Supreme Court, kind of showing off what an upcoming decision on Roe v. Wade might be. And then yesterday, they tried to codify Roe v. Wade into law, and it did not pass.
I think it's codify. It could be.
I like to say codify. I like to say you're right, but I like to say codify.
That's okay.
Because cod makes me think of fish. Code, and I have a thing with fish.
Yeah.
Because of Avatar, and so
and you hate. I remember when you used to wear a cod piece, and you'd always complain about it.
Oh, I hated those cod pieces. I'm gonna move this camera over here too. There we go. This is the way that my camera normally is. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
But I'm gonna tell you this. My wife has done some great auditions in here. So I have been I've been right. I'm mad, and I'm sure, I think everybody probably here has been probably dealing with a level of frustration, and we've done
and
this
helplessness. It's how do you process a feeling of utter helplessness?
And I feel like the only way to do it, and we've done this in the past, is through unfiltered rage, and we do it in a 30-second blast, which will give everyone, wherever they are, if you're by yourself, better. If you're at work, probably not. But 30 seconds to just rage about what is going on, about what's going on with Roe v. Wade, or what's going on about this entire decision, and then we can get it out of our system for the next little bit, and then we can go back and figure out what we're going to do about it after that. But I feel like we need a chance.
A purge. It's a purge.
Yes, you're right. We need a purge. So Molly, well, you know what? I'll get 30 seconds on the board here. I'm going to get 30 seconds on the board. I want people to get stretch out at home, get ready to rage, because I feel like this is people take anger. Anger's important to kind of have.
Your anger is a gift.
Exactly. All right. So here we go. Let's take a moment here to kind of let's see. I'm gonna push this in and put us up there. All right, we are good to go. All right, ready, Rob? On the clock, our rage begins. Going to turn down my mic volume just a little bit. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rage.
Fuck what this fucking country.
Going on
fuck
in this world,
country.
In this day and
really?
age.
Fuck you, Alito. Fuck you, Kavanaugh. You fucking
rules
racist.
About masks and guns.
Rapist.
We can't make those. We can't make those rules.
You,
but we
Clarence
can make a rule
Thomas.
About a person's
So now
life,
what's going to happen?
A person's life.
You're just
and then,
going
by the way, so we have
force
no control
women
over
to have babies.
What about the children? Why don't we also
fucking puppy
give
mills?
more money to
is that
schools?
What it is?
And how about
they're puppy
raising them?
now?
Or how about
a
also penalizing or making the other person involved in the pregnancy responsible by law? If you really care that much,
your
what
house.
do you care about?
You're
Why do you even give a shit?
going in people's
that was 40
wounds,
seconds.
fucking...
Sorry, wow. That was 40 seconds. I had more.
I wasn't even warmed up.
I know. Wow.
I don't know. I swore a lot. We'll have to, whatever. If we use that in a promo thing, we might have to bleep a lot. Well, I might have also threatened physical harm on Supreme Court justices, which I don't know if that's wrong. I mean, they're hurting. Like, people are gonna whatever. We don't have to do the whole. We don't have to dwell on that. By the way, if you've never seen, should we say, if you've never watched the show before, this won't be the whole show.
No, we got this out of the way. We're getting this out of the way. That the politics are getting out of the way. We need to address it because
I wish I was aborted.
Wow.
Well, that was too far. That's too far.
Here's what I'll say. One more thing, and then the show will go on, and we'll go forward. I know a lot of people are upset that people are camping out on the on the lawns of some of the Supreme Court justices. And here's what I'll say: don't threaten physical violence, but if you want to get on the lawn or near the lawn and you're not obstructing private property, go for it. We can be annoying. there's no law against not about being annoying. Like,
I think
go for it.
I think Susan Collins called the cops on people that wrote chalk on her sidewalk, and it wasn't even like anything bad. It was like, please vote for the Women's Health, Act or whatever,
Yeah.
and she
I
called the
am
cops.
all for causing nonviolent annoyances. Like, let's misspell their name on their Starbucks coffee
Well,
mugs.
can I ask? That's the sneak attack, is misspelling their names. Judge
Justice.
Judge Clarence douchebag. Judge Clarence douchebag.
Sorry, I misheard it. I must have misheard it.
Is there? I don't know. I don't want to get into this because the show is supposed to be a comedy show, but everyone's saying that this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
That they will come for gay marriage, they will come for that they will come for interracial marriage, of which I am a participant, and I hate to break it to my wife that we might both be single again.
That's it. Get single.
It's illegal.
I think there is a lot of crazy stuff going on, and I think you see it across the board. And obviously, this is not in any way as important. But I don't know if you've noticed this like pissing contest that's going on in Florida with DeSantis and Disney World. And, like he tried to take away some of their special taxation that they have in their facility. But then the other day, another one of these jerks decided to try to take away all of Walt Disney's copyrights. Like, oh, yeah, you can't have copyrights on these things anymore. Like Mickey Mouse can become public domain now, the old black and white Mickey Mouse. But all that to say is it is a pissing contest that is just, it's about posturing. That what they're trying to do with Disney is completely illegal. And again, not anywhere near as important as what we've just talked about. But everything seems to be a vindictive move to step forward and pretend like, I'm a tough guy. I'm a real tough guy, and they're just fucking the worst. It's the worst energy.
And also, I should say, I want to call out that we are two white dudes that live in California and have, some money. And so, whatever,
hundreds of dollars.
But so, but the people, obviously we all know this, but the people that this is going to affect the most are the people that cannot afford to fly out of state for an abortion, or drive, or take time off from work and drive fucking 4 states away and pay for a hotel. And companies don't, I thought I saw a headline that Amazon and someone else would pay for.
Actually, our agency, our talent agency, UTA, also made that pledge to all their employees that they would do that.
I mean, that's good if companies do that, but still, it's so fucked up to take away just basic healthcare.
I know we said we keep on saying we're not going to talk about it anymore,
and we're not saying anything new. That's what's infuriated, is that
I will say one more thing because it is worthy of it. I think it's worthy of saying it too. It's yes, it affects poor people, but it also affects women who are having troubled pregnancies. There are issues, and there's a line that is a very hard line to parse for doctors to be able to perform safe abortions for medical reasons. There can be a lot of leeway here that can do tremendous damage across the board. It just affects everything. And to criminalize doctors, and there's a whole bunch of white fucking dudes out there that are
dudes. It's all fucking white dudes
who are trying to capture people who are performing or facilitating abortion services. Like, they are essentially creating this like tattletale network. Look, is it smarter
true?
People are out there can talk about this. Last week I was in New York, and I was in New York for a couple of reasons, but one of the reasons I was there, that I happened to be there, they were doing the Amazon upfronts, and I got to talk about Friend Zone on stage at Lincoln Center. Literally Amazon was showing off all the cool things that they have.
Were you with Amy Poehler?
I
feel like I
was.
saw a picture of that
Yes,
on
Amy
Instagram.
Poehler
Yeah.
and I did a little bit. Amy Poehler was hosting the new fronts, which are like up fronts, but they just don't call them up fronts anymore. And
I think I hosted that one time.
it was wild. It was Lincoln Center. It was a really amazing, well-produced event. I was sharing a dressing room with the cast of Bosch Legacy. And I got to tell you,
why did they put you in the same dressing room as that cast?
They apparently didn't have enough space for all the talent, so we were sharing dressing rooms. And I was there from like 2:00 in the afternoon till about 9:30 at night with the cast of Bosch.
Now,
Legacy.
Did you go there to specifically talk about this endeavor?
Well, so this is what I was in New York. They said, "Hey, would you like to come and do this thing?" I said, "Yeah, that would be great." And I didn't understand to the end that they were kind of promoting Friend Zone. So much so, and I'm not lying about this. It kind of blew my mind. They bring out Roger Goodell with Al Michaels,
the head of the NFL,
with Al Michaels to talk about how the NFL is going to Amazon. Thursday Night Football is headed to Amazon. They do this entire presentation. And then Amy Poehler comes back out and she says, "Hey, now I want to talk to you about Friend Zone on Twitch." And then I come out right after Goodell. The announcement was as high as Roger Goodell coming. I could not believe the placement of it. It's not deserved.
Well, wait a second. Now, wait a second. And we're going to get to Ken. Ken, just cool your jets. Ken. I know Ken is in the green room right now, probably cursing us. Look, Paul, don't shit on this show. I mean,
not shitting on it.
Look, does the NFL?
I just think the NFL
have a lot of eyeballs.
A lot more eyeballs than us.
But who would you say, and be honest, who would you say has more eyeballs, the NFL or us? Or, I mean,
well, the way that it was presented, it seems like the amount of people that watch Thursday Night Football, which I would imagine is most of America, is also tuning in to watch Friend Zone. Happily.
But I think that is true. I think that's true. You know, we joke about it, but
we have millions and millions of eyes on us.
Yeah, I walk down the street and today there was a car crash and two cars crashed head into each other, and they said, "Hey, it's the guy from Friend Zone."
Yeah,
and then they were both killed in the car accident.
But they got to see their hero before they died, and that's honestly a great place to be.
Speaking of heroes, Speaking of heroes, should we get to Ken Marino?
Yes, we should. I was already upset to see him in there, and I'm excited to see his face.
I'm so excited because Ken is, I would say, a dear friend to both of us.
Yes.
What I'm most excited about is, he's shooting the new Party Down.
New season of Party Down.
And I think legally I'm not sure if he's allowed to talk about it, but I told him we're gonna find out.
Well, I mean, everything. But it's like also not a show where you can really can get spoilers from it. I mean, from Party Down.
Well, just some gossip maybe, and also now that we are on par with the NFL. Why not? Why not promote your big projects like Party Down on here? And then, if you want to go on the NFL channel and talk about it there, you can do that.
Yeah, we should have an NFL channel on our Discord now because we're this popular. Let's bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Marino. Yeah.
Friend Zone.
Ken, are you?
Live your life alone. Pick up the phone and call a friend for Friend Zone.
We don't have the rights.
That should be our new song. Somebody please cut that so we can make that our opening.
We don't have the rights to that, Ken.
We're gonna buy the rights.
I bought the rights while I was waiting in the.
Oh, thank God! Thank you so much. How are you, buddy? And where are you? Are you in Los Angeles, California?
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm in California. I'm at my house. I'm in an office in my house in Los Angeles, California.
I'm going to tell you this much, Ken. You've been on the show a handful of times. The first time you called from your office, it looked like you were calling from the toilet. And now you're in the same space, but it looks much more like an office now. There's bookshelves there. There's some artwork up. Before it had the stark wall of a really beautiful looking bathroom, and
yet I'm taking a hot dump in my bathroom.
This
is that
what
true?
we come from.
Friend zone. Friend zone. Don't you live your life alone in friend zone. Hey,
have you guys seen each other since your TV show wrapped, Black Monday?
That might have been the last time we saw each other in person, I think.
Okay.
It's possible.
Because Ken, Paul,
it was a delight to
Ken and I literally shot the last scene of the last episode and the last shot of the night. That was it. It was around like 2 or 3 in the morning on a Saturday night. I was leaving to go to Hawaii the next morning because I respect myself and love to have a vacation. And it was a great way to end the.
I feel like you set up this story to brag about a trip to Hawaii.
Love to take vacations, but no, it was a great way to end that show because what a great when Ken's on set. It's you're getting gold all the time. He's the best, the funniest.
Yeah. That's very nice of you to say.
And so good on the show. People did ask, and this is an interesting question, only because I know the answer to it, but I want to break it down. People said, Ken, do you get paid double because you were twins in Black Monday? And I know that that's a ridiculous question. No, you got paid your normal rate. But does it cross your mind, like, I should be getting paid more? I'm doing more work. I have to create 2 separate characters. Like, is that a ridiculous thing to think?
Oh, I hands down, without question, asked to be paid double.
All right, that's what.
And what did they say?
I was playing 2 characters.
Yes.
So I had 2 lines on the call sheet. I don't think I did. But
you did have 2 lines in the call sheet. I know you did because your characters they didn't always appear together. So they weren't they weren't the same name. It was 2 separate characters.
They agreed. Ultimately, they did agree to pay me for each character, but they paid me half of my fee.
Oh, you see, now that's the way they get around it.
I did.
There's always a way to get around it. You know what I mean?
I did a show on Netflix, no big deal. I can afford Netflix, called Murderville, where I played triplets in an episode, and I did get paid 3 times.
Yeah, wow. I saw you in that episode, and it was delightful to see you play all 3 characters.
You're very good. Some people say, Rob,
nuanced,
but some people say best episode of Murderville. I've heard it said numerous times.
Well, thanks, guys.
I would definitely say that. I would also say it's the only one I watched.
Have you submitted yourself for the FY? Have you submitted yourself for Emmy consideration as 3 different actors?
I had to pick one of the triplets to submit.
Wow.
And then the other triplets had to submit him.
Wow,
so it was complicated. Yeah,
I would love to do like an ad campaign. If I had like disposable income to the degree where you could buy like full page ads, like remember Melissa Leo gave that amazing performance and then like made her own ad. It was basically like, why not pick me? Great actress, amazing. But it was like, I would like the idea that one of your characters would buy an ad for another character. Be like, working with Rob Hubel was one of the best experiences of my life. Rob Hubel.
Well, Ken, in all seriousness, I did a show maybe 2 years ago with Mark Ruffalo, your friend Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
And he played twins. It was called I Know This Much Is True on HBO, and he won like all these Emmys and awards because people love twins. So I wouldn't be surprised if you do get some kind of award going.
I don't think there's a connection there. I think Mark Ruffalo won because he's a very, very good actor.
Everyone knows him as Thor.
Yeah.
Actually,
guys, I just Googled it. I think it's not Thor. I think they changed it.
All right, that's Danny DeVito as Thor.
That fast?
Yeah, I just
he may be Spider-Man or one of the. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking that honestly, Ken, there's a really big missed opportunity. I want to talk to Erica about this.
She's not here.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, because in Burning Love, I think Mark Orlando should have been a twin.
Oh, like
Mark
God.
Orlando. Oh, there it is.
Yes.
The hose.
Okay, now Ken, if we're gonna get into Burning Love, the internet's gonna blow up. People love Burning Love. Erica Oyama, who Ken is lucky enough to be married to, wrote
A
Burning
brilliant
Love.
writer, hilarious person,
Super funny writer, and independent of Ken. Does not need Ken at all. No offense, Ken, but your wife does not need you.
No offense taken.
And she did Burning Love. I wonder why we should have done a reunion over the pandemic. When everybody was trotting out their reunion shows, I feel like we should have done a reunion.
Well, look, the pandemic's not officially over.
Some would say it's starting all again.
Let's cross our fingers. Maybe there's a mutation that's really gonna get real.
The TV industry is cranking out these mutations.
Can we get a variant just to get another reunion special? I will say that I was talking about this the other day. Burning Love came out.
Whoa, easy, Ken. Easy on those chair spins. Easy.
I didn't mean to throw you off. I figured you've seen that before.
I know. I liked it.
I haven't seen it.
Burning Love came out on Yahoo TV. It was a streamer, which it was odd because Yahoo wasn't. It was just an interesting place to be.
I thought it came out on E. Didn't it come out on E?
It moved to E, but it started out on Yahoo. And I remember, and I was talking to somebody about this. The comments on Yahoo were as if the show was a real show, and people were getting very upset about the drama. Do you remember that, Ken? That people were upset about who was getting kicked off and why?
Hold on one second. My daughter just started my car. Hold on one second.
Oh, wait, really? All right. So I was talking about this to somebody else.
I'm trying to do the math on this. I know Ken has a Tesla because he loves to text me tips about the Tesla.
Right.
So his daughter must have gone into his phone and started his car. That is so funny. Well, we could do the show without Ken, I mean, we could just.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could always. I mean, but we love having.
Hey, when he comes back on,
I'm here. Hey,
how did that go down? What did you do?
So my daughter wanted to have a conversation with somebody privately, and so she went in my car, and I set it up, and I put the AC on. But then I guess if you leave the car, the alarm goes off.
Ken, can I ask you a question? I was just saying that you and I
mean, if you can't ask me a question here, where can you ask me a question?
Well, you would argue it's the place to ask you questions.
This is where you ask questions.
Well, I preface it with that to give you time to start thinking about.
I'm already percolating. I'm already working on it.
Okay. In the Tesla, because you talked me into getting one, and I've mixed.
Doesn't sound like you like it.
No, I do. I love.
Have you guys been hitting the fart function a lot?
Yeah, I love I love the car. I just hate Elon Musk so much that I feel whatever. But here's my real question: how do I leave my daughter in the car and walk away without someone stealing my daughter? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because if you leave your phone in the car, like my daughter wants to play a game on my phone, so I'll leave her in there, go inside the pizza place, get a piece of pizza for her. I'm a great parent, and come back out. But if someone
so look, I'm not condoning this, but there is a mode called dog mode where you put it on dog mode. It keeps the AC going. The doors are locked. On the screen, it says, "Don't worry about me." It's a little doggy or something, and it says, "It's in dog mode. It's 68 degrees in here or 70 degrees in here." So that's dog mode.
Okay, and so
when you put it in park, go up to the right of your screen and you'll see dog mode.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
By the way, you should change it to kid mode.
Yes, of course you can ask me a question.
Okay, stop getting upset about that. Do you think my daughter is a dog?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this, Ken. I want to get your opinion on this. Screen Rant, a very popular.
Are you going to ask me a question?
Well, I want your opinion.
Paul,
I'm
don't
ask
his
opinion.
Don't get his opinion. He gets pissed.
Okay, a couple months ago.
Before you ask that question, I want to ask you a question before the alarm went off, which is, yes, there were people on Yahoo leaving comments then they thought it was real. But there were also a big section of the people who really loved the show and understood it, and it was
Of
great.
course.
I think the show itself was sort of ahead of its time as far as like if we did it 5 years later on something other than Yahoo, more people would have seen it. And then it did go to E, and people on who watched it on E definitely thought it was a lot more people thought it was a real show, which was weird.
Yeah,
there's something about it. Yeah, so go ahead.
Well, no, just the issue is that the platform was Yahoo, which is, that's like USA Today. It's just a bunch of dum-dums, well, in America.
Literally people use Yahoo at that point, people were using Yahoo. People were using Yahoo as their like opening page. Like when you open up your computer, that would be the page. But let me be clear. The show was a giant hit.
Yeah.
Like there were other shows around it that seemingly cost so much more money and didn't get even a quarter of the attention that Burning Love was a complete phenomenon. But when you would get in those comments, people were not recognizing Michael Cera, who was on Arrested Development, and just thinking he was a guy. And I think it's a funny, weird thing because at that point, a lot of people, you might know them from comedy, but if you're on E, it's not really crossing over in the right ways. So you're like, oh yeah, this is a nice fireman who is looking for love, and God bless, I'm in for the show.
Favorite memory of that was you promoting it at Comic-Con, dressed as Mark Orlando. And for people that don't know Ken is famously in shape all the time. Like, I don't know how you do it, but Ken is always like ripped. And so when he was doing Mark Orlando, he was like doubly like just his fucking stomach was like crack, 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 crack.
Oh, it was amazing. Like when you have a body that good, you got to run around in a fireman's outfit.
And to be clear, it was just the fireman pants and then no shirt and suspenders. And Ken was going around Comic-Con handing out like flyers or something for the show.
And dancing. It was great. It was the best.
It was so amazing.
There it is. Right there.
I love it. Look at the Ken, your fucking body. I would pay money to eat cereal if I could put cereal on your body and just eat it off.
Again, that's not a question, Rob. You can't say that. My question to you, Ken, is Screen Rant, the website, just a couple months ago, rated your best movies as ranked by IMDb. They said these are Ken Marino's best movies. And I wanted you, do you want to know what your number, according to IMDb, your highest rated movie that you are in, what do you think it is?
Either Gattaca or Tortilla Soup.
Wow, interesting. Very close. Gattaca comes in at number 2, but number 1 is a film called, and I've never heard of this, and I now must see it, Jeffy Was Here.
What?
Jeffy Was Here is Ken Marino's highest rated movie on IMDb from the early 2010s. It follows the story of a couple who takes a road trip with an unlikely guest. All
three of the movies that we just mentioned, I'm in for like 5 seconds.
I will tell you, these are your top 4. Number 4, Love for Rent, a movie I felt like I was familiar with your body of work. I've never heard of
Ken
Love
does not
for Rent.
Remember. He's trying to remember Love for Rent. You can read it.
I remember now.
You play Sophia.
Is that an adult? Is that an adult film? That sounds like an adult film.
I mean, it's for adults in that everybody in it has graphic sex.
The one that makes the most sense of this list, I would argue, is coming in at number 3. We Are the Millers, right? Big hit movie, big, got that. Then it goes to Gattaca, which I don't remember you in Gattaca.
Is Wet Hot on the list or Role Models? Those were
Wet Hot got terrible reviews. Wet Hot then became a cult favorite, but I don't think the Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's got a lot of Rotten Tomatoes.
I love that everything that we think is funny, like just America's like, I didn't get it.
But it's grown on people. Wet Hot has become like a
Wet Hot is amazing. It's
beloved
amazing
thing. Gattaca, I had I think I could do my lines.
Do it. Do it. Set it up though, because
Okay.
I don't even know what your character does.
Uma Thurman walks up to a big tinted window, glass window. I'm behind it. You can barely see me. She gives me something. I go.
But you got to act it. Don't say it.
3.
You got to act it.
I go 3.5 for how long? And she says something, and I go, I'll see what I can do. And that's my. And you can barely see me. You know who else is in that? Maya Rudolph is in that, and she's also. You can barely see her. I think she's probably behind a screen as well, or like a tinted.
Is there a podcast, Paul, where it's people pointing themselves out in tiny little roles?
I would love to do that, because I have a role that doesn't even get to be a tiny little role, but it was one of the best experiences of my life at that point. I got an audition for Vanilla Sky, and I auditioned for it, no big deal, and I get a call, and I never got a call. I didn't have an agent. I don't even know how I got this, but I got a call. Cameron Crowe loved your audition. He wants to meet with you. And I'm like, oh my God. And at this point, I'm the biggest Cameron Crowe fan. And I go in to meet with Cameron Crowe. And I remember that whatever that day was, I had to cancel something major with my girlfriend at the time. And that did not go over well. Like, I feel like we were going on a trip, and I was like, I can't leave on that day or whatever it was, because I need to meet Cameron Crowe. He loves my audition. And so I go in, and Cameron Crowe says to me, like, Paul, I loved your audition. I have this part that I think you'd be right for. You work with Tom Cruise. He didn't say Cruise, but he said you work with Tom in The Office, and you have all the ideas. You're the young guy, and you look up to him, but you have this interesting relationship with him where he kind of doesn't give you all the respect that you would deserve, but he also really likes you, but he's being hard on you because he's mentoring you. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, so I'll give you the scene. And the scene was this. There's a line of dialogue, and it says, what do you think of this? And I held up like a poster, like a cover of magazine. What do you think of that? And Tom goes, like that. That's it. So he goes, I want to do it. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Good, great. I'm like, what do you think of this? He's like, great. Maybe do it again. And maybe at this point, you're a little bit more, you're panicked because you actually put some money behind this, this cover, like, what do you think of this? It's like, okay. All right. All right. Great. Thank you. Did not get that part. Did not get that part. Did not get the part. And then went to go see Vanilla Sky, the person who got the part, behind a window, and just goes like this. And Tom Cruise goes, that's it.
Who was it?
It was another lovely character actor from New York that I was mad at for like the split second that I saw it. But it was so funny that it was one line. I couldn't nail it, even though he called me back. And then it was just devolved into, that was it.
I think that's what he realized in the moment. He's like, I don't need the line. And I don't want to trouble Paul
to come in.
Someone in the chat said there was a podcast. I was there too. It was similar.
Oh, yes. That's a great podcast. But that is about, there's an amazing episode of that podcast. Matt Gorley, one of the best. He got everybody from the bus on Speed, from the movie Speed, to talk about their experiences of shooting Speed.
Oh, and it was just that? It was just that movie?
It's every episode is a different movie, but this he just got got all the cast members from Speed, the bus, and it was never has there been a better Rashomon than that. It's 8 people with 8 totally different recollections of what that movie was and how they experienced it and what happened and what they all were in the same vehicle. There was no separation, and they can't tell a similar story at all. It's a beautiful episode.
I bet without question all of them loved Sandy B.
They love Keanu a lot more. I mean, there was no negativity to Sandy, but it was a lot more love for how down to earth Keanu was.
Ken, are you in
Like eating
Sandy
soup
B
with them.
Are you in Sandy B on those terms where you call her Sandy B?
I'd like to be. I'd like to Sandy be.
Ken,
Oh my gosh.
stop making jokes. Look, we have to get serious because this is the part of the show I'm not good at I'm not great at segues. Where I know you want to leave.
Good at saying segue.
I know you want to leave because
I don't.
I keep seeing you look at the window.
Well, he's nervous. His daughter's going to drive off to like the local Burger King.
Has the keys to the car.
Okay, Ken, tell me one secret from Party Down. Ooh. Just give me. Come on, give me some gossip from the set. Who's in it? Is everybody back?
I'm in it.
Yeah.
Everybody else is in it.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
Lizzie Kaplan. Is Lizzie Kaplan back in?
Except for Lizzie. Okay, great.
So far one lie already.
Yeah. And Megan Mullally or Jane Lynch?
Both.
Whoa! I just by the way had a very crazy. We were away at a wedding in which, and I don't want to reveal the whole thing because I don't know if Ken feels comfortable with it. Ken played a very major part in the proposal of this couple got married, and the wedding was actually fantastic. But we were away at a wedding, and I got approached by this guy. He's like, "I'm the biggest Party Down fan. Me and my wife have been watching it. Your episode is one of my favorite episodes. Ask me a million questions about it." And then June comes up, and he has been effusive about Party Down. I'm like, they're shooting a new season. And he's like, "Oh my God, really?" I'm like, "When is it going to be out?" I'm like, "I don't know. I know they just kind of wrapped it up." And he's like, "Oh, I can't wait." And then June comes over and she's like, I was in it. And he's like, "Oh, really?" And then and June has a much bigger part than I had on the show. And it was so funny because he was so effusive. And then when June came over, he's like, "Huh. Okay, I'm done with you." Like, it was like, did not want to engage June at all. And it makes me laugh. June never, ever puts herself in a position like that. And I thought she was like, this is
a safe one. I'll say
this guy, he's
know
so
who I
excited.
am. It'll be great.
Yeah. He's going to ask me a million questions. And the guy was absolutely lovely. And he's like, "Oh, okay." Like, it was like,
Ken, is there any gossip you can give me? Like, are there any romances on set?
We each and every one of us for this reboot hooked up.
Whoa!
You're
every single
all of you
person at one point or another made love to one of the other people.
Wow, beautiful! That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
And when I say make love, I mean we made love.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean that. I mean made love. Love.
Oh, I like that.
You know
I like
that.
that.
Yeah, it's more like that. More like that.
Yeah.
More like that.
All right,
what is that?
that ended up looking
sad eggplant.
Yeah.
What is that?
This is just this is Thinking Putty, but I'm sponsored by Thinking Putty. But it always looks like a dick. It always looks like a dick.
That's what I was thinking.
What about any feuds? You know what I mean? Like, hey, I don't like this guy. I forgot how much I hated this guy.
All right, I'm going to tell you this is a scoop. You guys are getting a scoop.
Oh, I love it.
Every single person, any regular on the show, had a fight with one of the other people.
Wow. So it was a tense, like a couples kind of fight, like that kind of real ugly fight.
I fought with Adam. Ryan fought with Martin. Jane and Megan got into a fist fight.
What?
I mean, everybody fought.
What? Let me ask you a question, Ken.
And I have a good question. I have a question after. I got one ready to go.
And then we're going to let you go. Did Adam Scott, are you done shooting or are you still shooting?
Can I, before you ask that question, my mother always used to do this to me on the phone, right? We would talk on the phone, then she goes, "I'm going to let you go." And I'm like, don't say you're going to let me go. That means you want to go.
That my grandma does that to me all the time.
I'm not
Italian.
your grandmother's.
I'm not saying I want to go. Stop saying you're going to let me go.
I have a
Just
feeling.
say
My
you
grandmother,
go.
my grandmother is 92 years old, and she is still under the impression that by calling New York, I am spending a like almost like $20 a minute. She's like, I know this is costing you a lot of money. I know.
That's so
and I'm like,
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
let you go.
I'm gonna let you go. I don't want to keep you. I don't want to use up more of your money.
Okay, here's where I was going.
All right,
Does Adam Scott now, after Severance, walk around like a different fucking guy? Like, I'm in the best.
Let me tell
I'm
you
in the best show ever made, ever.
He wouldn't stop talking about Severance.
I knew it.
Severance this, Severance that. You know
on
what
Severance,
Ben
we
did
did
on
this.
Severance. You know what I did on Severance. So John Turturro on Severance, Christopher Walken on Severance. You know, it was ad nauseum.
Yeah.
And
the worst.
And one of the reasons, and this is one of the reasons, we made Passionate Love.
Oh, I knew it.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes that's what you need. That's what you need.
I knew it.
The show, any truth to the rumor that for the, I don't know, you're calling it a reboot, a reunion, a continuation, that you are no longer cater waiters. Is that true? That you guys are no longer cater waiters? You're all, different professions.
They're all doctors.
They're all doctors.
That's called Children's Hospital. That's a show that you and I did.
Is that what I just shot? Oh, eggplant, penis, droopy penis.
All right. Well, this has been amazing to talk to you, to be here with you.
Ken,
unbelievably amazing.
Ken, the ratings, you can't see it, but we can see it on the side. The ratings,
boom,
are
boom.
Paul just promoted the show in New York at the New Fronts with Roger Goodell, and we have since then the numbers are through the roof.
I had to tell people. I'm like, we have people like Ken Marino just to give them a taste of what they could tune in.
Just a little.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
this is the one thing I like to end with this. We've done this now a handful of times. I think you would actually be a perfect person for this. We're gonna let you go after this one question. And this is not to I know that you're very thankful for all the people who recognize your great work. Is there one question that you can definitively answer right now that no one ever has to ask you again? Like, we all are in certain worlds where a question comes up time and time again. For me, no matter what, the question is, hey, can I ask you something? And I know where it's going to go. Do you play fantasy football? I do. I do. I do play. And like, there a question that you're like, I feel like I have addressed this. I've talked about it enough. This is your chance. We will package it so you can have this now locked in like a question.
So then after this, no one gets to ask it anymore?
No one has to ever ask it again because you've definitively answered the question.
Oh, I know what it's going to be.
What is it going to be?
Will you do dip my balls in it?
Yeah. Well, usually the question is, hey, I want to dip my balls in it. So I don't know if that's a question. It's just something. So, and then I say, that you too? That's great. And
is that your answer when people say that?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I don't know what to say to them. I'm like, that's fantastic. I'm glad I'm not alone on this.
Has anyone ever said that when you were with your kids? Like, come out and said, I want to dip my balls in it. With your kids there?
Yeah.
Was it me? Did I do that?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying. Yeah, you do it all the time in front of my children.
The league has brought out a bunch of people who yell at members of the show and with our children. And my favorite one was one of the people in the show. Someone came up to them because in the show, this was referenced. He's like, "You have a pretty dick," and it was a line from the show, but said in a Macy's during Christmas holiday shopping. It took on a different connotation.
I've had a weird. This is not a question that people ask me, but because The Office is so big on Netflix, I think I was in 3 episodes of The Office, but it's just that show is so big. And my part on that show is I dated Steve Carell's girlfriend, Holly. And as you guys both know, my wife in real life is named Holly. So I would very frequently get people in airports or wherever come up to me and they would say, "You better stay the fuck away from Holly," thinking that they were being funny. But when a stranger comes up and says that, like in a threatening way, I was like, did you date my wife? Like, what?
It's a little confusing.
It's so confusing.
Wow.
How many fights have you gotten into because of that?
11.
How many times have you yelled at Holly that she needs to stop tramping it up?
Oh,
no, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Stranger.
Sorry, I just wanted to promote Stranger Things when he said.
Yeah,
11.
it doesn't need that. It doesn't need. It's a great show. It's
I
coming
just
back.
want people to see it. Nobody's watching.
Are you in? You're not even in it.
No. I just when I hear 11, I immediately think 11.
You got to promote it. Yeah,
you got to promote it.
Ken, it's always a pleasure to see you, and I'm sorry we kept you for so long.
A+.
Well, I'm going to let you go.
Let us let you go. Let us let you go.
Will you invite?
There you go. He's out. We dropped him like that.
I was going to see. All right. I was going to see if Ken has a. Maybe I shouldn't say it, but he doesn't care. Ken has a place at the beach. He has like a fun little
beach shack.
And I want him to invite me again. He invited me one time, but I was going to hit him up. There he is. Yeah.
Wow,
Ken, you're invited.
Him? Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, now I feel guilty. I didn't even know about the beach shack, but all right. Well, anyway, you guys have fun at the beach
Paul,
shack.
you're invited.
No.
All right, the best. He's the best. We
we
continue to have the best with Jon Daly coming on. I want to say,
Ken is the best. He is the best, but right above him is Jon Daly in my mind. As far as like comedy performers, fun guys, I love to talk to. Ken is at the top, but Jon Daly is just.
You're saying Ken
him.
is number 1 with an asterisk, and that asterisk
is Jon
Daly. Wow.
Well put.
And look, and we got two of the top best dudes out here. And should we just bring in Jon?
Let's bring him on. Let's bring him on. Yeah.
All right. Boom.
John. Hey guys, it's Johnny. And let me say, if Johnny's not playing, the game don't count. How's it going, everybody?
Yeah.
Kenny Marino, get me to the shack. I want to get in that shack.
I know. I'm calling it a shack. It's not a shack. Ken has a nice place, down at the beach in Venice. And
right. What's the address, buddy?
Yeah, let's get that address out there.
Jesus Christ.
John, I was telling Scheer that last night. I listened to the very first episode of Two Johns Don't Make a Right, and it is literally. I was noticing how much I was sitting there like an idiot, laughing and smiling the whole time.
Oh
like,
wow!
So funny, dude. I'm so jealous of the idea, and like the one.
Nobody can do the idea because the idea you have to be named John.
Yeah, that's it.
For those who don't know, it's Two Johns Don't Make a Right, and it's me and my friend John Schrader, and we drive around making lefts. We never turn right around LA, and if we turn right, we have to stop the podcast. But we find ways to not turn right. We can't take U-turns and stuff, but it is tough sometimes to keep turning left.
And I'll say this. If you don't know John, not Jon Daly, but John Schrader, writer for Bob's Burgers, a hilarious,
the tallest person you've ever seen,
6'10", lovely guy. But here's the thing: I think that I don't know if it's your first episode or your second episode where you get into an accident. You get to see another side of John. You get to see another side of because First of all, you're getting into an accident, and so the podcast is going, and there is this energy. The pictures that went along with it on the Instagram page were great because we needed some visual representation. But yeah, what was that like to be recording one of your inaugural podcasts?
Yeah, we were talking back and forth about bullshit. Can I swear?
Yeah.
Bull crap. And driving, and we were on one of those really thin streets in the valley somewhere, and we had to like, kind of move over, and we were like, oh no, whoa! And this guy just two mirrors clanked, so they both folded. Like, how mirrors fold, they both go. But John's mirror is messed up, so it's got this big dent and is missing paint, and is like, it's going to cost money to fix. And so John gets so mad, and I've never seen John mad in my life. But he's 6'10" is the thing. That's important to this, because I never thought oh my God, what if this guy we're going to confront has a gun, or what if he kicks our ass? Because John can just stand and intimidate people.
So big.
It's like that classic scene from movies, like a comedy movie. It's like, hey, sit down, and all of a sudden a giant
the
man
biggest
gets up.
guy.
And if you don't know him, you would be scared. But this guy seemed to not give you what you guys needed. Like he didn't seem like he was gonna.
We wanted a confrontation, and he had a cigarette going, 2-inch ash, just and just a rat, man, just a bad person. And it was clear right away that this guy was dark, and he was not gonna. He was just like, what? Oh no accident. We were like, okay, man. But John, I mean, I was hype. I felt the feeling. I was in one or two mall fights in high school, or
the mall fight. Yeah,
everyone else was in high school, and it felt like, oh, dude, whoa. I was like, is this gonna go down?
That feeling of a fight happening when you are an adult. For me, and look, maybe other people live a different life. It is a different kind of adrenaline that I'm not used to feeling. We're like, oh fuck, all right, here we go. It's like, I've had that now probably 2 or 3 times in my adult life, and while not invigorating, it is just this immediate
it wakes you up.
It wakes you up in an insane way.
I was in Gower Gulch Rite Aid. I was parking in the Rite Aid in Gower Gulch.
Shout out to Gower Gulch.
One of the only themed mini malls in LA.
It's got the rootinest, tootinest Togo's Baskin Robbins. It is Gower Gulch. But and I was going into this parking spot, and this guy I guess I cut him off into this parking spot. I didn't even mean to. I wasn't thinking about it. And he got out of his car and was like, "What's up, dude? What's up, dude?" And I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna fight!" And then his girlfriend started, kind of quashed it. It's like, no. I was like, whoa.
But that implies that
drama.
He gets in fights a lot. If his girlfriend gets out of the car crying, that means oh shit, here we go again.
He would have also completely destroyed me. Dismantled.
I was one time, the only time I'm trying to think recently, this is a couple of years ago, but I was in a sushi restaurant with my wife. No big deal. I can afford sushi.
Hey,
guys.
Wow.
And I think I told you this story, Scheer. And this guy was sitting with his date and another couple at there's a Sugarfish in the Valley or in whatever, in Burbank. And so they're sitting there, and it's a fucking, I don't know, a Thursday afternoon. It's not crowded. It's me and my wife and this this other table. And they're drunk as shit. There's just so many beer bottles. They're loud as fuck. And this one guy, for no reason, is just being he's talking so loud about fucking. And he's being very graphic about coming in pussies, fucking, and he's going on and on and on about oh, I fucking want to come so hard. And I was just I was sitting there this is so lame. This guy's
you were Jon Daly's being so vulgar.
So it went on for 5 minutes, and it just was relentless. And I was like, I gotta go over there and say something. I think I gotta go over there because the restaurant was not doing anything.
Right.
So I stood up and I walked over to the table, and I go, hey man, my wife and I are just trying to eat dinner. Like, you know, I'm not offended by your language. Like I swear,
I'm cool.
But I'm cool.
Yeah.
But
my wife's a real prude though.
Yeah, so he goes, so he goes, oh, okay, bro. Okay. And he goes like, why don't you like go back to your table or whatever? So I just was like, okay. So I went back to my table, sat down. And so then he amped it up and started going like more and more about like, you know, oh, my fucking balls are so huge and da-da-da. So it goes on for like 10 minutes now. So now I was like, I got to go over there again. Like, I got to just say something. The restaurant was not saying anything. I was so pissed at Sugarfish. This is my commercial for Sugarfish. So I go over there again. And so at this point, they had all just been seated the whole time. So I go over there the second time and I was like, hey, man, I'm going to ask you politely. And then he kicks out his chair and he stands up. And now I notice that he's wearing an MMA shirt. And it's the biggest fucking guy I've ever seen. And he's like, what? What? Whoa. What are you going to do? Like, gets in my face. And I could feel the fucking heat like going up my head. Like I was just boiling. My blood was boiling. And I was like, I guess this is it. I was thinking like, I guess I'm going to fight this guy in a Sugarfish. Like, yeah. And I had somehow I had the presence of mind to just look at the guy and I go, really, man? Really? And I just stood there and I said, and then I just walked away. And then of course, you know, then they left and they knocked over all their beer bottles and there was no big fight, but I drove home and I was so fucking pissed. And did for like a week, I was on Amazon, like looking for fucking things to hit people with. And like
you have 10 butterfly knives,
like this fucking whip thing I have.
What is that?
Everyone on here jokes that this is a sex whip because the handle looks like a metal dildo. It's just a fucking thing that you keep in your car to break out the window. Yeah.
Oh, to break the window.
Break out the window of your car. Yeah.
I remember that those moments make you like you act in these crazy ways, and then you know, like we're also in a super litigious world too, where you know, like if you ever did anything or he did, like there'd be lawsuits in a minute. Like all of a sudden, this guy's like, well, actually, my friend is the state district attorney. Yeah, he loves getting blown too. But I remember that June was living in this apartment. And it was a crazy sublet situation here in Los Angeles. So much so that like one of her roommates was like living in the kitchen. One was living in a bedroom. I was in I was staying over at June's house that night and I was in her bedroom. And the landlord was getting upset that he knew there were too many people in this apartment. Now, I had just stayed over for the night, and it wasn't like I was living there. And the landlord kind of confronted June on the street, and he was getting like very aggressive with her. And I didn't know what to do, but I was like kind of like I was trying to stay back, and I'm sure June could actually paint some of this picture, but I can tell you where it devolves to. But he kept on calling. He was like, you cunt, you bitch. And he's yelling at her really vulgar. Shit. And I'm sorry I said the C word. But I need to do the thing. And all I remember doing is picking up a flower pot and throwing it at his head. What? Which he like ducked out of the way, but the flower pot exploded and it just like went everywhere. But in that moment, it totally it stopped everything. And calmer heads prevailed until he threatened to kick June out of the apartment. But that was the day after.
But you would have killed him. You would have killed him. You would have killed him.
100%. It was one of the dumbest things I could have possibly ever have done. But it was not a rational thing. I was much younger.
I always forget, Scheer, that you used to have a temper, right? Like I don't ever see it.
Yeah.
I don't ever see it.
I think I was less in control of my emotions at a certain
As
point.
a
Definitely
kid?
as a younger,
Yeah, when you
as
were
a
a
kid,
kid. Yeah.
for sure. And then it would come out. I've worked on myself. I feel
Yeah.
pretty good about myself in that way that it won't
Yeah.
devolve to that. But it's
Were you
tricky
on the playground? Were you on the playground? Like, give me your milk money, bro. Give me your
No,
milk money.
I was like, I did this thing where, I mean, it's such bullshit rationalization, but I would be like, hey, you picking on that kid? I'm gonna fucking beat you up. Like that
Whoa,
kind of like thing.
Dexter.
Yeah.
Dexter.
Oh, yeah.
I was Dexter. And then I would get into trouble all the time. Like I would get into trouble with like real bullies because I would like embarrass them in class, like or do shit like that, and then be like, I'm gonna fight you after school. There's a lot of shit like that. And
So you were like being funny, like a class clown, but also provoking people and had a distinct sense of justice about it.
At your high school
you
reunion,
weren't punching down, you were punching up.
Right. I wasn't beating up kids who deserved to be beat up. I was beating up the bullies and going after them, and in a public way where they would get laughed at by the whole class. I remember like at one point this kid was I mean, it's so dumb to even tell the story, but it was like this kid got up and tried to be really funny in class, and it didn't work. And I was like, hey, I was like, sit down, Steve. It's not funny. Sit down. And like the whole class was like, oh, like it was like, and it was like, but it was like a cutting, humiliating moment for this dude, and he was fucking mad. Like he was mad. And then
that's balls. I
came to my house.
Balls. I had no balls. One time I was on the bus and this kid that I just hated. I wasn't like a bad kid, but like one day I decided to just like, what if I like fucked with somebody? Like it was almost like an experiment. Yeah. And so this kid was like, I went to the Smithsonian and we went to the Air and Space Museum and I got these cool holograms. And he was like, he had these holograms that were cardboard mounted. And he was like passing them around like, look at my holograms, look at my holograms. And I took the holograms and I just went, boom. And I went, here's your holograms back. And he was like, what did you do? And I was like, yeah, fuck you. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? But it was such a pussy move. It was, and then I got detention, a Saturday detention, like the Breakfast Club, which was super boring.
I never had a Saturday detention. Was it longer than a normal detention?
It
was a full school day, so like whatever that is, 6.5 hours. Yeah,
man, I can't believe that you beat up Seth MacFarlane. The way you were describing him sounded like it was Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't doing a good job. He was like, "Get away from me."
Yeah. I do think it's interesting. We try these things, and you try on these like personalities sometimes. And like I was telling this to Zooks the other day, like I can live in a permanent state of embarrassment from like moments that I've had like at like a CVS 10 years ago. I'm like, oh, why did I do this? I remember like one time I feel like I was super drunk and I just badly hit on somebody at a bar. Like, and it wasn't even like, oh, I'm embarrassed because it was like overtly sexual. It was like, it was just a lame, like I was like trying to start conversations in the lamest way. And I'm like, I feel it in my heart to this moment. Like, oh, I hate it.
When
it really stays with you.
Yeah. At your high school reunion, Paul, were people bummed when you showed up? Like, oh shit, there's the guy that beat everybody up.
No, I didn't go. I did not go to that. Do you guys do any of that? Did you do any high school reunions?
I went to one, like an early one.
Yeah. I'm still friends with one person from high school, and we like talked about going and almost made a plan. And then I was like, okay, let's see who shows up and then talk about the 10-year or the 20-year.
Yeah.
And then you see who shows up, and it's all the people that were on like the spirit committee and like, not that they're not nice, but like it's not people I ever connected with. Like that showed up.
It's interesting. I have like a couple of friends that I have different relationships with from high school, and it's like, and that's I feel like going to a fake wedding, because that's kind of what it is. Like you're sitting at a table. I guess there's dance. Like it's
you're making fun of people.
Yeah. It's just like it doesn't feel to me like it doesn't seem like a recipe for success. Like, I'd much rather be like, oh, hey, you're in town. Let's go out and get like a drink or have dinner than like, let me have a drink and dinner with everybody in one moment. Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah.
I think people go like, literally nobody says this, but like 75% of why people go is like, it's kind of sexy.
Yeah, right.
They're
like, let's see what I got. Let's see what everyone's heard about my fucking. I closed the Withers report, and I'm feeling pretty cool at my job, man. Let's see how confident I can be, like around Sally or whatever. Like, I really think that, like, oh, maybe I can have sex with somebody. Like, that's a big motivating factor, because, like, if you're a couple going back, it's like, hey, like, that's just. You got to be pretty square, man.
One of my favorite.
Not, I don't.
I don't know if anyone knows this, but it felt like, like I read the paper when I was a kid. Like, I lived in New York, and I read the paper, and I remember this one detail that Bruce Springsteen was dating this woman, and he may be married to her now. I don't know, but she went to her 10-year or 20-year high school reunion. And he just waited in the car and hung out with the other limo drivers. Like, he went with her to the reunion, but did not leave the parking lot. And that to me was like a fun, crazy power play. Like, I'm back. I am dating Bruce Springsteen, but he's out in the parking lot.
He's in the parking lot.
Yeah. What do you do if you're Bruce Springsteen and it's just like, hey man, do you need insurance? Like,
I love that he was like, I will go with you. I love you. I will go with you. I will support you. I will not go inside the building with you. I have to stay here.
I agree. It's a power move for him, but I think for her, why does she want to go with Bruce Springsteen and have him in the car? It's a weird, like, everyone knows I'm with Bruce. It's kind of like an awful power move for her. Like,
it's all
Bruce
weird.
is in the car. You don't have access to him, but I will be going home with Bruce Springsteen.
I'm leaving with Bruce. Yeah, and I'll pass on my regards to Bruce.
And that woman was Courtney Cox. She was like, remember me? Dales, I want to show. Can we show your new music video?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we need to set it up at all?
Well, I got a new album. Let's see. Right there. Boom! It's coming out on Northern Spy Records.
Whoa!
An insert. It is baby blue vinyl. Look at that, baby blue. It's beautiful, and it's a compilation of a lot of stuff I've been doing with my producer Cyrus, who you guys know. Cyrus,
we love Cyrus. Cyrus, who worked at Twitch for a bit, now over at Netflix. But besides being like a really interesting comedy guy, one of the main reasons. Whoa!
Look, where was the
photography by Robin Von Swang? That's
classic. Robin's been a guest on the show.
I ruined a saxophone doing that. And
where is that? Is that in Santa Monica, or did you go somewhere?
It's at this. No, it's in Malibu. It's in Malibu.
Look at that
I just bought this at Target, and
I love.
We went to some beach in Malibu and just shot it. Shot a million. We only got one shot. It was one of those things. It was like so hard to pretend to play in the ocean. The waves are crashing on me. It was insane. Totally insane, bro. But anyway, album's coming out June 10th. The pre-orders are happening now. How do you go to my Instagram?
Gotcha.
Everything. Yeah, I'll be dropping some videos, and it's all dumb comedy songs, and then a couple very sincere songs that.
But you've been doing great stuff. No, you've been doing great stuff. I love. You do it all. You're a mixed media artist, comedy, music, everything. I love that they have serious songs in there. I'm gonna buy that. Where can I buy it up? We're gonna play your video in 1 second, but where can I buy the vinyl?
You can pre-order the vinyl on at northernspyrecords.com. That's my record label. Yeah, I have a link to it on my Instagram, Twitter, and
we'll go to your.
We're putting that up right now.
Great.
And then,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're gonna get that. But so Molly, you have the video, and we'll put this up here. But let's even pull us out. I would love to have just like a full video.
This is cool.
Yeah, here we go.
Do you guys play video games? Do you guys ever play video games?
Wait, hold on. Did we get in the...
That's for.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's Addicted to Computers.
Holy dude.
There's also songs on the album that's directed by Bill Benz and edited by Bill Benz.
Man, he's the fucking best. He directed Medical
he's great.
Police. He's the best dude.
Yeah, he's the coolest.
Yeah,
he's so brilliant. But yeah, thanks for playing it. Yeah, I was going for these. That's from 2.5 years ago because I was supposed to drop this album 2 years ago, and then it got pushed because they couldn't process vinyl, and I got a record deal, over pandemic, like very early in the pandemic. And it was like, okay, well, it's not going to be real. It'll come out. And then it just didn't. And all the vinyl got pushed. And so it's so great to have it out now.
Vinyl was in like high demand for other things other than albums, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All the vinyl plants were making remakes, reissues of Fleetwood Mac album. It was like high demand for vinyl. So it was just like, you had to wait in line, but Northern Spy Records did a good job getting it out. And every song does not sound like Thomas Dolby or Devo. That was specifically like, I wanted to do a Thomas Dolby song. Like, she blinded me with science. So I don't know.
Dude,
but,
so
good.
I was singing it last night. I was walking around in my house singing, I'm addicted to computers, computers. Oh no. And my wife was
what I've discovered is it's totally for children. It is literally for kids. Like kids like it. Yeah.
That's awesome, kids, man.
It's so good. And by the way, I'm just on the site right now, the Northern Press, northernspyrex.com website. And it's so easy to order the album. It's not like these, sometimes I feel like it's hard to figure out how to get, it's all tapped into everything. Your Amazon, you can do it, whatever. It's great. I'm buying the,
they don't track you. There's no million emails. You just put it in and you do it up. Yeah.
Now, are you going to go on tour?
I'm going to go on tour. I'm doing a big show in LA at Permanent Records, and they're going to help me, drop the record, and that's going to be awesome. And that's June 29th if you're in LA. And then I'm going to go on tour then after July 4th, kind of with my friend Colleen Green, who is on Sub Pop Records and has we have 2 collaborations on this. So we're doing like a co-headline tour.
Oh, dude, that's going to be so awesome.
Fun.
Yeah,
so fun.
It'll be awesome.
Dude, the best.
Congrats on the album, man. Congrats on that.
Thanks so much.
I'm still, I gotta plow through 2 Johns, Don't Make a Right. I gotta.
Oh yeah, well, you guys, please both of you be on 2 Johns, Don't Make a Right. I will. I'll schedule you guys. 2 Johns, always 2 Johns. Yeah, all the time.
I love it. It's great. This is awesome. Jon Daly.
Thanks, bros.
See you, buddy.
Northern Spy Records.
Thanks
Follow him on all
me.
the things. All right, we'll see you. Bye. Oh man, what a fun show this has been.
Super fun, man. I mean, I love just fucking talking to people that we know, and then because you know how I am. Sometimes I'll get on here, and if it's someone I don't know, I don't know how to
You're
talk.
like, I don't want to get. Why do I need to make a connection with these people?
Yeah.
There's no reason to it. By the way, how have you been? Like, have you been doing anything? I just got back from a wedding, and I have to say, I went up to Ohio for a friend's wedding. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I wanted to just ask you this question. Your wedding was great, and this has nothing to do with your wedding. But
my wedding was on your birthday, as everybody knows.
Yes, but I would say most of the people that like take this with a grain of salt. What I'll say is this: I go to a lot of weddings, and there's inevitably one clunker of a speech or one really weird moment where everyone's like, we brace. Yes. And this wedding that I just went to last weekend, there was none of them.
Wow.
And I have to say, what a, like, I've never experienced that. And I wanted to say, have you ever experienced like a wedding where you felt like there was no clenched, like, this is a moment we gotta like.
Well, I mean, I know your friend, and I feel like everybody there is or not everybody, but I would assume it's a lot of ringers, right? It means people that are performers, and really,
no, that was the thing. It was those 1 or 2, yes, but I would say 75% of the speakers not ringers, and that's what was kind of interesting because the ringers you can't count. People who know how to speak, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, people who know how to speak in public, it's not that big of a deal. Were you at that famous wedding? One of our friends got married, and the father of the bride started talking about other people that she had dated.
Oh, I don't know if I was there.
Yeah, I had heard that one, and that always made me.
Do you I'm trying to think if I should say this.
You cannot use names.
I'm not gonna do it. It's only
All
good
right.
if I use the name of the, because it's like it's all right.
Well, Molly also went to a wedding. How was Molly? Molly had a very big wedding this weekend. Molly,
I didn't have a wedding, but I went to a wedding.
Yeah,
right.
What is the name of the fur coat that you're wearing?
I'm wearing today. I'm wearing a birdie. I traveled this weekend. I went to Boston and Rhode Island. It was wild.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Any weird speeches at your wedding?
They kept it extremely minimal, and I was really grateful because this side of the family is very Catholic, but the couple decided not to have a Catholic wedding, so it was nice and short and sweet.
I
like that.
I had at my wedding. Thank you, Molly. At my wedding, as you might remember, on your birthday,
yes,
Holly's dad gave a toast, and I don't remember much about it, but I remember that it was well received in a room filled with comedy people. And he is a trial lawyer, so he's used to like talking in front of a lot of people, but not used to getting laughs. And so I think he had written something and then kind of started improvising and somehow started like just getting big laughs in front of all of these comedians that he, knew. And so he just kept going and going, and it ended up working out. Like he totally like landed this awesome speech. I wish I could remember it. And, but still to this day, when I see my father-in-law, it'll come up like after, if he comes in town for a couple of days, like maybe on like day 2 or 3, he'll be like, you remember the speech, right?
Oh, you gotta dine out on that. You gotta dine out on that. I will tell you this, that it's great to watch people kill. And at this wedding that I was at, one of the father of the groom, one of the grooms, couldn't be there, and he wrote a speech for his daughter to read in his place.
Wow.
And it was exactly what you just described. Like he was able to, he's also in that field, in the legal field, pull off a performance that made you feel like he was there. It had a cadence to it that was not his daughter's. It had jokes, and it dropped you into this emotional place. I was like, June and I were going to bed that night, and I was like, I need to see it again, because it was like a magic trick. It was like, you weren't there, and I didn't feel like it was your daughter reading it. I did feel like I had a moment with you, and I felt everything. And I was like, it is, I'm not like, June is amazing at speeches. I get nervous, not to speak in front of people, but to speak sincerely in front of people.
Yeah.
And
wedding speeches are tough, dude. I haven't even told you this. Guess what I have coming up next weekend?
What?
I'm the commencement speaker for for my nephew's high school graduation in South Carolina.
What?
So my brother was like, "Hey man, would you want to come to South Carolina and be the graduation speaker for Jared?" And I was like, yeah. Like, I'm never going to get asked to do a commencement speech.
God.
So I'm trying to, hit the right tone of like, hopefully kind of funny, but mostly like appropriate. There's going to be parents there. They're also 18, 17, and they're kind of going off into the world. They haven't gone to college yet. So, but all of my references are so, like so dated that I like, so I'm trying to just spend a little bit of time on it and make it good. I don't want to.
First of all, you'll be great. And I will say this, I have had the pleasure of seeing you speak from the heart numerous times, and always aces. You can do it. But more importantly, I think if you just go the inspirational route with funny pops, it will be great. It's like, I think, it's like, it's just like, you think of it yourself as like you are the fun part of this. Like you are going to be fun, but you're also going to leave them going like it's like how do you build a sandwich? I think that's part of it too. It's like I'm going to get them in laughing, and then I'm going to surprise them, and I'm going to pull them out laughing, and I'm gone. And you're gone. You're out of it. Oh, please, someone tape this. We need to watch it. We need to hear it. We got it.
I hope it goes well. I hope I don't fuck it up. But
you won't.
You know, in the back of my mind, I'm also like, oh, I mean, are they going to be sitting there going like, why this guy? Like, why couldn't we have gotten like a fucking senator from South Carolina? You know, I don't know, but Lindsey Graham or some shit.
You should.
What if I just went down there and it just made it about abortion? I was just like,
you know, I it would be great if like they say like, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rob Hubel, and then you come out and you're like, you know, being a senator for these last 5 years, and then like you do like a minute, and they go, I'm not a senator. I just want to see if anyone knew.
That would be great. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'll let you know how it goes.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. And you know, Rob, I know that you're not the biggest sports fan, but I do have some exciting sports news.
I love sports. Wait, is this about the Clippers? I just don't know basketball.
No. Well, the Miami Heat have now moved on to the Eastern Conference Finals, beating Doc Rivers, the Philadelphia 76ers. And why do I take a pleasure in that? Because for years, the Clippers were plagued by being up and then losing a series. They would be up by 3 and they would lose a series. And now Doc Rivers has done it twice now since he's been on the 76ers. And people can now look and understand that it was not the Clippers' fault. It was So basically, I'm enjoying the fact that someone has failed because he. Yeah. You know, that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say that I think that team gave up on him anyway. It's a longer conversation about Doc Rivers. I love Doc. I think he has some issues as a good coach. Anyway,
are you the last Clippers game you went to? You and Carl went. Was that the one that you and Carl sat on the floor?
So Carl and I. Carl Tart, who is on Grand Crew, been on this show. Put your tees up.
Season 2, Grand Crew
picked up, and I'm so happy that it got picked up.
We got to have Carl back on now. Now
celebrated. That Carl actually played the organ at Fenway this week.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I wondered why he was there. I was like, why is Carl? What is he doing?
Carl's a super talented dude, an amazing DJ. But he said to me, he texted me, he's like, hey, my ticket rep called. She can give us floor seats for the last game of the season. And the last game of the season was a chance for them to get to the playoffs. And it was a significant amount of money. And I had never sat on the floor. Carl never sat on the floor. And we're like, fuck it, let's do it. And we buy the tickets. And we got these. We're right under the basket. I'm right next to Steve Ballmer. I got to show my pictures. I don't have them queued up, but we're there. I have a jersey that says Ballmer Jr. on it. And I got a great picture where I'm turned with my back to Steve Ballmer, and it says Ballmer Jr. next to Steve Ballmer.
Didn't we show them?
We might have. Okay, we might have.
Them. Yeah.
I can't remember. And so, anyway, then as soon as we bought those tickets, we found out that Paul George was not going to be at that game, which was really a major reason why we wanted to be there, and we thought they could win. I read 2 things. One thing about Bill Murray, when he did a movie called Where the Buffalo Roam, where he played Hunter S. Thompson.
And we have not discussed the Aziz movie, I don't think.
Oh, right.
We'll save that for another show, maybe.
Yes, but the Bill Murray thing, which was interesting, was like this is like back in the 70s, he like lived with Hunter S. Thompson, and he became a little bit like Hunter S. Thompson. And they said that he never really lost like a certain thing, but for a while it was sticking with him. And Will Smith, in his book, wow, I'm referencing all these people. This is interesting, though. This is a very interesting, maybe a through line. He said when he did 6 Degrees of Separation, he went so method that it took him 6 months to remember who he was. And if you watch the first like 10 episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air season 3, he is not funny or good because he is still his character from 6 Degrees of Separation.
I don't buy it. I think, I mean, the more you talk about it, the more it sounds like method acting is an excuse for people to act like maniacs.
And there you go. And there you go.
Whatever they want.
I will say that I was with an actor one time who did a little bit of method acting in the sense that sometimes when we were talking, he was talking as his character, but he was talking about such pedestrian things that I thought I was talking to the actor. and I was constantly confused. And then I felt badly that I was playing slow to catch up. And then it was very hard. Like I want someone to say, hey, I am playing Bob, and let's now commit to this. I can't. I'm trying to just exist here. Whatever.
By the way, I'm not shitting on anybody else's acting technique. I mean, everybody's just
trying
to do their best. But like,
let me in on
it. Yeah. But there's something about those stories about Daniel Day-Lewis in Lincoln, who supposedly, like never broke character, and they had a separate tent for him. And it's just like, okay, you're not going to check your phone at all, Mr. President.
I've heard so many fucking stories. The best story I heard, and Daniel Day-Lewis, great actor. I have nothing bad to say about Daniel Day-Lewis, the actor.
Yeah, amazing.
But a friend of mine was on Gangs of New York, and Daniel Day-Lewis is in character.
Yeah.
And then would go over to the monitor and watch takes and then go, oh, we got to do that better. We got to do that fucking better. We got to do this. It's like, well, if you're watching a monitor, you're clearly like, are you in character? Are you an actor in this world? Are you is this your life? Like, what? We got to make some adjustments here.
Someone in the chat is plugging Nick Cage's new movie, and I was wondering if you'd seen that. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't
seen a goddamn thing. I really want to go see. Was it Mr. Strange 2 and the Mirrors of Darkness? I would like to see that movie.
Okay.
I haven't seen that, and I would like to see that movie. But you now have a free ticket. Family's out of town. How are you going to spend it?
I'm going crazy. I'm probably gonna take mushrooms and probably do some hardcore vandalizing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because my family's coming back in a couple days, so like I got to get into it. So I think tonight, I've already got the shirt on. I'm going like full like ninja attire and
get out there.
Pasadena is going down tonight. You're going to read about a string of vandalism, very specific vandalism. Someone's going to be spray painting dicks all over the place.
Yeah, Molly said she's coming to pick you up in 15.
That reminds me. Molly said that we have a brand new bumper to play before we close out. Yeah.
Rob is in everything that you love. You name it. Rob was there. He's there right now, watching you as you watch him too. In fact, the only place he can't be seen is the shadows. They hide all things.
Wow. That we didn't even set that up. We probably should have done that at the beginning with a little bit of context, but let's watch it. We should watch it again.
One more time. Yeah.
Rob is in everything that you love. You name it. Rob was there. He's there right now, watching you as you watch him too. In fact, the only place he can't be seen is the shadows. They hide all things.
Rob knows who killed Epstein.
Is that
said Rob knows who killed Epstein? Wow, Rob. I mean that.
There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack.
Who made that, Molly?
Infrafan.
Infrafan. Oh, I know Infrafan. Wow.
Yeah. I can't tell if that was anti-Paul or anti-me.
I almost think it's a beautiful tribute to you.
Oh, you thought it was a tribute? Okay.
Well, I guess I've been upset, and
I'm upset that there's pictures of me nude when I was fucking huge. I'm not that big, guys.
No, you look great. I guess I think that. Oh my God. Well, first of all, I hope that someone cuts Ken Marino's bit so we can make that into a bumper, his song, the opening song for the show. But I'm just happy. Are you happy with that? I mean, video. I mean, it's a
great
one, right?
bumper. I'm just reading the feedback in the chat, and people are really into it. And,
I'm happy about that because I hated that thing that went viral this week for you, and I just as a friend, I wanted to know
it was a bummer. It was a bummer, and
I mean, I shouldn't even show it. Should I show it?
No, I mean,
I'll show it. I'll just show it because I
wish you wouldn't. I wish you wouldn't because
I work so hard at the valet. Tips really help make my day. People are normally nice and cool, except for Rob Hubel. He's a fucking fool. I helped him out of his car. I grabbed his bags and I got inside, and he farted up that entire car. Fuck Rob Hubel for not paying me any money. Rob Hubel doesn't tip anyone. He thinks he's better because he's Hollywood.
Rough. Wow.
And it went viral.
I hated that. It went viral. That was bad.
I think what it is it a lesson. The lesson is to always be nice to everybody that you come into contact with, because everyone is a person, even valets. You know what I mean?
Well, of course, valets. I mean, of course, yeah. Even valets.
What I'm saying is, I didn't. You know, I sometimes life becomes transactional in some ways, and this was a lesson that I obviously must have pissed off a valet, maybe.
Well, it seems like you farted in the car and you made the valet get inside of it, and you probably were acting somewhat like a Hollywood D-bag or something. And I mean, look, I can't say where it came from.
Were you involved at all in it? Because the singing, sometimes when I listen to the music, when people cut bumpers and they send them to the show, we have a policy that we will play it. We'll play it.
We have regardless. We have to play it.
We have to. If you're gonna go to the effort to edit something and email it to us, we're gonna play it. But
okay, I'll come clean.
Yeah,
I'll come clean and say that I was approached. People are like, I don't know how to make a bumper, but Rob really did this thing to me, and then they told me the thing, and it wasn't my idea. But I did help facilitate it. I apologize.
So a valet reached out to you, Kip. I don't know.
From the Palm Hotel Casino Resort in Lake Arrowhead.
Dude, it was so long ago.
Well, I mean,
so long ago. And so Kip at the Palm Casino Hotel and Resort in Lake Arrowhead reached out to you on social media and said, I'll tell you what happened, and can you cut a video? And
he's like, can you help me make a bumper? I have these pictures of Rob in his car that I took. I've been following him. And so I said, well, look, I mean, I don't know what I can put together. I can maybe try my best. And, and then I did that, and he said, this is great. And then I didn't hear from him. And then I saw it was, on the front page of Reddit and the front page of BuzzFeed. And I think I played before, I think, Doctor Strange and all the IMAX showings.
Well, now I just saw online that the NFL is talking about airing it before the games, because I guess when you went to New York, did you mention that to Roger Goodell at all?
Is Roger Goodell's son.
Kip is Roger Goodell's son.
He made his son work in a valet position to understand how to do, customer service labor. Yeah, is Roger Goodell's son.
So they're going to show the valet video before NFL games. Can I look at it one more time?
Yeah, one more time.
It's not great.
I work so hard at the valet. Tips really help make my day. People are normally nice and cool, except for Rob Hubel. He's a fucking fool. I helped him out of his car. I grabbed his bags and I got inside, and he farted up that entire car. Fuck Rob Hubel for not paying me any money. Rob Hubel doesn't tip anyone. He thinks he's better because he's Hollywood.
That's just tricky. Really tough. I mean, I can almost separate myself.
I had to figure out what the last shot was. Like, when did I do a car commercial? And that was a Funny or Die Volkswagen commercial that I shot in Texas, where we drove a Volkswagen through a Target. So I got to drive in a Target.
Whoa, fun.
Yeah, but we only had one night to shoot it. We had to shoot it all in one night because we only had the Target for one night. But the larger point is, if this airs on NFL games, I'm fucked.
Well, here's the benefit. Thursday night NFL, Thursday night football, and our show are competitors.
Oh, great.
So we will be taking a large grouping of people.
Oh, everyone will be watching our show, and so maybe there'll just be like 4 or 5 people that'll see the NFL.
That's what I kind of think. I mean, I think that's the only thing that we can hope for. Look, I'll do some more research this week. I'll figure out what's going on.
Okay,
you have the house to yourself. I'm excited.
I got the house to myself. Thanks to Infrafan for sending that in.
Yes,
if you want to send in any videos, we'll play it. We don't care.
We love it all. Somebody help cut us that Ken Marino thing.
Shout out to Ken Marino and to Jon Daly for coming on the show. And John's new record is called Ding Dong. What's it called? Ding Dong Delicious, I think.
It is. I'm looking at right here. I'm looking at my card. It's called Ding Dong Delicious. Yeah, and you can get. There's multiple ways you can get it, but the best way to get it is northernspyrex.com.
Addicted to computers. Oh no!
Wow. What a great show! What a fun time to be back. Ken Marino, Jon Daly, Rob Hubel, Paul Scheer, Molly Reynolds. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah.